Another top-level military officer confirming what most Americans are already starting to believe: aliens do exist.
Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing.
Well, a retired U.S. Army colonel going on the record insisting aliens are real and already communicating with humans. It's the focus of the latest episode of News Nation's new podcast, Reality Check with Ross Coulthard. If you grab your phone, do it. Okay, come on, grab your phone, come to your screen. There's a QR code. It'll take you directly to the podcast, or you can also check News Nation's website or our YouTube page. And joining me now is News Nation's special correspondent, Ross Coulthard. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Anna.
So I have to admit, this is not my zone of genius. When we hear non-human intelligence, is that just synonymous with aliens?
It is. It's another cute word for alien. And the interesting thing is the person saying this, the very senior former Army officer, Colonel Karl Nell, I mean, he's a chap who's advised people at the very top of the U.S. Army. He's advised as a senior advisor to the U.S. Army Combatant Command. He's also worked in helping reorganize the U.S. Army Reserves, the biggest restructure since the 1970s. And intriguingly, Anna, he's also worked for some of the aerospace companies, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Bell Labs. He knows stuff, particularly because he's the former director of the UAP task force. He investigated unidentified anomalous phenomena for the Pentagon, and he's saying a non-human intelligence is real, and furthermore, it's been interacting with humanity for a very long time.
Yeah, and for the skeptics out there, this is not a guy in some tinfoil hat. This is not some slouch. We can add a retired colonel with the U.S. military to the long list of other credible witnesses publicly saying there is non-human life out there. So at what point will enough be enough and the government just shares what they know? Are they hiding something? And if so, why?
Look, I think the government does know it's hiding stuff. Even very senior figures like Christopher Mellon, a former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, has admitted that the US government, he believes, is hiding things about UAPs. And more importantly, Colonel Nell's comments have been backed by a former admiral in the US Navy, Tim Gallaudet. He's talked about how, quote, I know Colonel Nell is correct with complete certainty. Why has society not taken this world-changing reality seriously, he says? Partly because of a deliberate and systematic disinformation campaign by the US government, which has perpetuated the stigma associated with UAP. So he's had some high-powered support from a former colleague in the services.
Right, and you obviously have done a real deep dive into this. So what if we lived in a world where the Pentagon decided they're going to officially admit that there's proof out there of UFOs and UAPs? What would happen next?
Look, I don't think the public would be that shocked, to be honest. I think there are a lot of very patronizing, haughty people in both private aerospace and parts of the defense and intelligence community who think that you and I and the public can't cope with this news and information. I think we can, and I think it's time that the Pentagon, the president, and indeed the intelligence community were far more candid about what they really know.
Look, some of our top-rated content is on this very subject. There's obviously a lot of interest out there. And again, you can check out Ross Coulthard. You can check our website, our YouTube page, or his brand new podcast, Reality Check with Ross Coulthard. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.